Sure. Let me get this turned on. I'll come help you.
I've done this before, many times working with parents and doing some books and
Oh, yeah.
getting them all set up. And today was a busy morning. We had the parenting partners sessions, I think those two in the mornings for them. And today was their celebration.
Oh, okay.
And their graduation, so
That's nice.
I'm super excited.
I'll bet.
I'm done.
Okay, so we are streaming if she wants to log in now. Thank you. There it goes. Oh, there she is. Oh no, it's Victor.
Oh.
He's been taking the class online.
Refreshing, she said.
I've been using Zoom since we started doing this since COVID. But I was thinking when we go to Microsoft, Microsoft has Teams, which is their version of Zoom. And if you take the class, you get the full license, which includes Teams. So I was thinking maybe we should switch over to that for Microsoft. Same thing, you know.
She hasn't received anything, she said.
Did you get the email today?
She didn't get the email.
Oh, okay.
Is that why?
Yeah, because she needs a link to the class. So let's see. But has she been getting the emails?
She has to. I
Huh.
don't know why she didn't get it. I got one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did. Because mine was from yesterday. I got one at 12.
14 p.m.
Today?
For our full-term students, we do a job search thing about looking for jobs. And we tell them now, always check your email that you listed on your resume, because now they don't even call, they just send an email or something. And if you put the email there, they're expecting to be able to use it. And one of our students said, should I change my email address? I said, what's your email address? She said, Happy Hippie Chick 69. I said, yeah. Make one just for job search, professional.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
what I have
but
too.
but the thing is, you have to remember to check it.
Yeah. That's what I have too. One was when I was like 14. Another one for that reason.
Well, we also tell them if you've got a voicemail and your greeting is like a funny one,
Oh,
to
yeah.
change it. Especially, back in the days when it was all a family thing. Some people would have their kids screaming on it, think it's funny, which is funny, but not if it's a new employer. Can you ask her to text you her email address and I'll just send it now?
Hello?
Yeah,
It's like if they're talking, like answering back, and I'm like, hello, oh yeah, you, and then she's like, oh, can you please leave me for a message? I'm like, oh. Answering machines.
Yeah, my cousin did that for my aunt's cell phone. Like he answered and he's like, hello, what do you want? And I'm like, how is your mom? And then I'm like, nothing. I'm like, okay, he's talking the phone. No, that was a voicemail. Oh my God.
so
Yeah.
let me see here.
I got one that I was calling a family during the summer we tutor children in their homes. And so anyway, they answered and they said, can you speak a little louder because I'm frying some chicken and I can't hear you. So I was like,
There she is.
goes, I got it.
Karina, yeah.
Okay. She said,
Let's see what
"Come look
happened.
up the machine, so please leave a message. And I'm always typing. I'm
I
like,
know.
oh,
When I make these calls and then there's hello, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm calling just to let you know. And, oh, can you please leave them out? Okay.
Okay, it just went out.
All right.
So we should get it momentarily. Unless you ever block me. If you block any of my emails, then every future email will be blocked, even accidentally. You have to undo that.
I'll let her know.
Okay. So once you logged into QuickBooks, so today is our last day of the beginning class. So we'll do a few things to wrap it up. Next week, no class. And then the week after starts the advanced. And then next week, you should get a confirmation that you're enrolled. So just to be sure. And then it operates the same as this class, where we have it open here on campus, or you can do it online. Either way. Or you can also watch it afterwards, the videos. So those are always available. They do stay up forever. So if you ever remember, like today, we're going to pay sales tax. And if you ever have to pay sales tax, Say, how did we do that? Just open that session up. And if you watch them, they're actually all linked together. So if you start the first day and watch that class, it'll automatically jump into the next class. Yeah. Mm, yeah, check her spam filter and check her like trash. Obviously, she has it automatically going trash.
Yeah.
But it's weird if she's gotten the other emails.
Sometimes it does send them randomly.
Are we still gonna be working on the same?
Yes, same company.
Same company?
Unless you want to start a new one.
No, okay,
You're
so
open.
then during the week, if I want to go back and work on it, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah,
can do that then?
absolutely.
It's just for a year.
Yeah, and you can't mess anything up as far as data. I mean, you can, but it won't matter. It doesn't hurt anything.
No,
So
because as it is, from the weekend, 3 days, you know, and then to be the whole week off, and then. Like,
yeah, do a few purchase orders and pay some bills.
yesterday was like, I was spaced out. for some reason. Wednesdays and Thursdays I babysit, so that's.
We are tired.
Aren't you gonna give me dinner? I said,
I made dinner, I just didn't have enough to eat.
yes.
Okay, she said, you know, she will watch the playback.
Okay,
Yeah, so she said she doesn't want to take up any more class time,
okay.
but
Wait, she did join it
she did join it.
at the beginning. Yeah, so that's the same link. That's all she needs. However, she did it before at 5:57. Just do that again. Should work. But you know, she wants to play back too. Either way. In our longer programs, we did the same thing, and we had a solar program when it first started, and it was state-funded training. So one student said, "Oh, you could do it online? Okay, well, I might want to try that." So he tried it, and then he came in and he said, "I can't do it online from home." I said, "Oh, okay, that's fine." He said, "I need to come in." He said, "My wife won't stop talking to me." Okay. So then he came in with the class, and we found out it wasn't just his wife talking. He's a talker too. He'd talk, get off track through the class, and we got to get him back on task, which that's good. That's one of the things about going to the classroom does. It gives you that mental discipline and stay focused. So, but as you know, it's different experience online as opposed to in the classroom. All right, so let's start off. We'll make some purchase orders. We'll get paid and pay. That's why we make so many purchase orders. It'd be harder to forget. So we go to vendors.
Mine's coming up with the-
That's just like
Oh,
they're over.
okay.
How many
yes,
do you want us to do?
today.
Let's do 3. Yep. Or the other option, if you wanted to, you could have gone up here to new and click on purchase orders. That works too. This one you have to override it, create purchase orders. So create 3 purchase orders.
For your company, or it could be, I mean,
Yeah, 3 products just normally.
because like if I wanted to get into boards, furniture,
You can buy from them, but you're only going to have the products you have on your list
yeah.
to do that. So it's up to you. But like I said, it doesn't hurt anything. So we know that. We'll receive the items and pay the bills. So these will be nice, easy purchase orders. No hassles. So I have the 3 purchase orders. Now I can receive their bills. Except on mine, I use the same name twice. That's okay. I can go in and edit,
We're gonna be creating the bill.
creating the bill from the purchase order. So like here, I had to go and fix my purchase order. So when I fixed it, I'm still at the purchase order. So I'm lazy. Rather than close it and go out, I'm just going to click on copy to bill. And this brings me to the same spot as clicking create bill. The only difference is it's already populated the item details with the information of the purchase order. So now I've got 3 open bills. It's time to pay them. If you like, you can click on this and do them one at a time, or use the shortcut. In your left-hand corner, click New, Pay Bills. And I can do them all at once.
And then once you pay it, where it says pay, after when you pay the bills, you just save it, close, and it pays them all.
As long as you have check marks next to them. So either click the all or click individual. Yeah. And then if you don't believe me, you can always go to your chart of accounts, look at your check register, click on here, view register, and you'll see 3 payments for today. Boom, boom, boom. There they are. So that makes it easier.
Faster.
Yep. And like I said, it doesn't matter how you do it. It gets you to the same spot. Everybody gets a check. It just saved you a little time. The drawback of that, though, is if you have a lot and there's some you're not supposed to, you have to pay a little extra attention because you're doing them in mass. And it's easy to forget. Oh, wait, I got to turn this one off. But if you do and you haven't printed it yet, you can always go here, delete it. Now you know how to do that. Okay, so let's go to our customers. And now I'm going to combine things. So I'm going to say, let's make 2 invoices. Receive payments to the checking, and then create 2 sales receipts to the checking. So at the end, you'll have 4 deposits. So we'll just do 2 and 2. And now you can use any customer because they're all balanced to 0. They're all caught up. And you can sell them the items you just bought. Two and two, please. Unless you're feeling ambitious, you can always do more. The more you do, the more money you make. So after I've done my two invoices, I have a note here that I have two open invoices, which is correct. Now I can just pay them. Pardon me, receive the payments. And then when that's done, two more customers for sales receipts. And again, this is if they walked into the store, purchased it, gave the money, and walked out. So you have to use the drop-down list to select sales receipts. But again, you're telling them what they're going to buy.
Two invoices, you
Mhm.
pay them, and then what's next?
Sales receipts,
Sales receipts.
two and two. So when you're done, you can again check your check register. You'll see two sales receipt payments and two payment payments from accounts receivable. And then, as we've been making sales, we've been collecting sales tax on every single sale we're making. So we told the computer we have to pay monthly. So we're actually behind because we never paid January. That's okay. Do it now.
Chart of accounts, chart of accounts.
If you want, want to check the payments, go to the chart of accounts, look at your check register. You should see 4 deposits. 2 will say sales receipts, the other 2 will say payments. And
So, I think it's about 4, chart of accounts.
the check register.
All right.
And then at the top, I've got 2 here. See, those say sales or product income and sales receipt. So it tells you that. So those are the 2 from that type. And then down below, payment accounts receivable, that's from the invoices. So I've got 23,000. Now I got to pay my taxes. Some of my taxes. So down the left-hand side here under the menu, you'll see taxes. Click on that. So of that money that's in my checking account, I owe this from February. Again, it's the accrual basis, meaning if I hadn't received those payments, I'd be paying sales taxes on those sales while I'm waiting for the payments. Down below, you'll see we have 2 periods. So we told the computer when we set this up, we had to pay monthly. So it knows, hey, you didn't pay January. And that's why it says due. We also have another one that we're accumulating down below. This one's not due yet. Won't be due till after February. So that's the way it works. You build it up, pay it off, build it up, pay it off. So to pay it, oh, by the way, before we do that, you do have these reports here. You can always look at the different reports. These are 3 of the same reports that are in that long list of reports. These just happen to deal with the taxes. So if I go to tax liability report, here it comes, here's who I owe. And you'll see it shows you how it calculated it. So here was the gross total from January 1st to February 9th of taxable sales. And then it shows you the amount taxable finally and how much it figured out. And it did the 3 different agencies or the 3 different districts. So you have the state, Stanislaus County, and Stanislaus County District. Which is why whenever they want to do a little sales tax increase, like that happens in Atwater every 4 years or so. It's for police and it's just 1%. Well, yeah, on top of the other 1% you got and the other 1%, you know, it keeps adding up. I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but it does over time, especially if you don't remove the other taxes. So now we're into reports. I want to go back into taxes. So I have to go into the menu and click on taxes again. By the way, as I told you in the beginning, there is an ad here. So you can set up a QuickBooks checking account and it will process all this for you automatically. So yeah,
So going to a separate checking account. That's
Yeah.
Your own, the company's primary.
right.
account.
You just have to maintain a balance that would cover it. And then QuickBooks will process it all automatically. And you'll see it in your reports, but you don't have to do this step we're going to do now. But it's not a hard step. So for the January 1st to January 31st, I'm going to click on View Tax Return.
For January?
Because we said monthly, which means we got to pay the January one first, or the January period first. You'll see here, there's another link to the liability report again, the one we just saw. But if this is all correct, because QuickBooks filled out the agencies, did all the calculations for us, all we have to do is record payment. You do have the option of making an adjustment. Don't touch this unless you really know what you're doing. Because it really, mostly there's not an adjustment. It could be if you had a return you have not processed yet, and say it was $1,000 worth of sales tax. So you sold a big screen TV. It was really expensive one. Okay, that's worth doing this. Or just go process that first, then come back. But you can adjust it up or down. However, especially if it's down, you should really know why you're doing it. The state doesn't mind if you make a mistake and give them too much money, but they mind terribly if you underpay and get it wrong. So we're just going to record payment. So there is a report to download. They just have to have your name on it. So there are payments attached to it. Here's the amount though. The bank account is going to be our basic checking. And memo, say sales tax for January.
But it doesn't want to come out the basic checking, it doesn't, it says bank account on the top, but it has red.
Yeah, it's not letting us get in.
Okay. Let's go back. So you were here, you got the record payment?
Yes.
And you did record payment.
Go there, but it shows us the red dot.
Thank you. You have to put the-
Record payment.
Try putting, 0. Okay, that's right.
Still not,
Click on, report. I mean, it shouldn't be.
well, maybe it's the wrong month.
Well, we're gonna pay the other one anyway, charge the other one. Yeah. I don't think so.
We're just not taking a while to get out. Okay. Back here. You tap the track.
Huh,
Okay, so,
okay, I got an answer.
okay,
We're gonna put in today's date. So put in the payment date.
today.
I don't know why this works. Okay, so we're, court payment. 02/09/2023.
Oh, well,
Right.
it
Okay.
came up,
Yeah, that's fine.
now it comes out.
Can I see what it is? Now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
on yours. Start typing the word basic check.
Here?
Your bank account.
It's, but now you're
Yeah.
gonna start with the I refreshed,
Okay, good.
so maybe that's it. 02/09/22.
So,
Yours is okay?
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's
The fresh- fresh start.
You're not supposed to have to, but yeah.
Refresh.
When in doubt, refresh.
Big words.
Doubt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. when in doubt.
Refresh.
See, on mine, the, I don't know about your calendar, my calendar didn't pop up here, but it does show my accounts. So if you want, you could say, you don't have to put a note, but you can't put highway robbery. They get mad at that.
Are they gonna see that?
Yes, this goes on the check. First period, which is 1 month, first month, because we're paying monthly. They used to have everybody pay quarterly. Now they want it earlier.
Of course.
Up to January 2023. And then record payment. Yeah. So that's why now, when was it? It was November. They realized they had the surplus. And that's how they knew, is because everybody's paying now early instead of having to wait for the end of the quarter. So they decided, oh, well, let's give everybody a little bonus card. Then after doing that, now the economy went down. And so all the rich people especially lost money on the stock market. And so they're lost in their trades. So all their income went down and now they have a deficit and they have to fill a deficit by making cuts. And it's a disaster. So they should have just held off for a rainy day because they're going to ask for that money back. Okay, so it does say return paid at the top. You can go to bill back to sales tax center. But before we do that, let's take a look at our checking accounts. So go to the chart of accounts. You register the basic checking. And there we go, sales tax payable. Ouch. It might be right at the top. It was the most recent thing we did. It's split because remember we have 3 different accounts that's getting paid. Yeah. And you can always click on it. And you can always edit. I don't, well, let's see. Nope, see, I was gonna say, usually it doesn't let you edit sales tax. If you made a mistake, you have to delete it and then just go do it again. See here, it said edit. It was a lie. I'm here. I can't edit. There's nothing I can change. Where am I supposed to click? All I can do is print or delete or close. So yeah, it's a little misnomer here. And that's the exact same thing with payroll. So payroll and taxes, you can't just edit. You have to delete and start fresh. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I can do it right now.
Even though it says it was sent out.
Yeah. It will let you start again because we're going to go and do the next one. So my first month is marked paid. You can always view it even after it's been paid.
So what do you got to do?
We're going to pay the second one.
We're on the second.
Yeah. So we'll do that now.
Oh,
So view tax return again for the second line.
oh, right.
And look what happens.
It doesn't let you do anything.
It's not due yet.
It's in the 20th.
So we have to wait. And you can see it says February 2023.
Because it's not due yet.
Yeah, the old versions used to let you do it, but they've taken more control. Because really, if you paid it today on the 9th, you're gonna pay it again at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So-
you're not done with your sales for the month.
And even if you are, even if you say, okay, I'm taking off for the rest of the month, no more sales, I'm closing shop, you still have to do it on the 31st. Well, 31st, the 28th.
The 28th.
It's Feb-
Have like a grace period after. the-
Yeah.
How long?
5 days.
5 days.
Yep.
The month is over. Hey,
Yeah, and I believe California will no longer take checks. They want it all electronic. They want to go right into your checking account. And it can't be, well, don't quote me on this. I believe it can't be a credit card either. It has to be a debit card or bank account. And they really want the checking
for
account.
the state,
Mhm.
online, and they always have to mail them.
Well, that's the problem, is they spend all the time opening envelopes, comparing things and running reports and things.
And the federal, you just go right in the website, pay, you're done with it.
So once again, you do see the accrual basis means as you earn or as you incur payments or invoices, you have to pay on those. Sales receipts, it won't matter because those occur same instance. The moment they owe you money, they pay you money. But it can make a big difference if you're doing a lot of invoicing. Let's go to our chart of accounts. So you can use those tax reports from the reports menu. Or you can always look, if you scroll down, it's under liabilities, sales tax to pay. Or if you like, you can do a search, sales tax, and then view and register. So we have nothing pending. If you go to the California Department of Tax and view register,
You said to put sales tax?
yes, there's two accounts.
Nothing will show.
Oh, okay.
But if you go to the other one called State of California, blah, 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 but it's under liabilities here.
California,
Yeah, California Department of Tax and FE. And if you register, you can see here's the $58.91 payment, and then all the transactions. So that's how it's tracking everything. And good thing it does. I would hate to have to do this by hand. And this is happening more and more as states and governments are learning that the things that used to be time consuming with computers aren't time consuming anymore. So sure, it's convenient for businesses to be able to do this, but why shouldn't the state take advantage of it too? And there's a lot of transactions now that they're going after. Like, I don't know if you saw in the news, they want to go after waiters and waitresses and their tips. So they, because anything that's cash and the flowing, it's hard to track. And the rule used to be that if you were in a job that had tips, they assumed you're going to get a certain amount of tips and you'd have to pay on that. And then that's really you're done. You're supposed to itemize, but they know that's not going to happen. So they'd say, all right, so whatever, we figure like 10% of your salary is going to be also in tips. So you have to pay 10%, whether you earn it or not. And then if you earn more, you're supposed to put it down, but that doesn't mean people did it. So now they're saying, well, look at all those tips that we're not getting our taxes on, and their taxes are owed. So now they want to change the reporting requirements so that waiters and waitresses put everything. And that'll be another mess. And they keep coming up with these ideas. The problem is, who's going to, on the other end, receiving it? Yeah. So I told you that $600 deal, like PayPal and places like that. Sure, they can generate these reports. They can send them to you electronically. It'll be there in less than a second. Now, who's going to deal with that and say, all right, this shouldn't have been, I've got to investigate this one, got to investigate that one. Out of 300 million transactions? Yuck. Well, to be honest, there is a way to do it. Get a good computer program. But the federal government and the state government are constantly behind the ball. I don't know why, because they have all the money. And if you look at their system, sometimes you can tell they're the old Windows system. That's how old they are. And DMV's all messed up. And so is unemployment, because they had such an old system, it can't handle all this new stuff. And they're making all these rules and laws without having the systems to back them up. So a human has to deal with it, and that slows everything down. Plus, of course, they're having a hard time hiring. All right, so it's 6:52, it's break time. We'll take a 10-minute break. When we come back, we're going to use undeposited funds. I was in an elevator today and they had a sign up that said their application for renewal has been approved. However, it hasn't been acted on yet, but there is no prosecution as long as it's pending and they are waiting to come out, meaning they're backlogged. So the elevator is probably about to collapse and nobody's going to catch it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was over at the MJC campus, West Campus, but and it's not going to fall. It was, they renewed or requested a renewal in January, but I guess there has to be an inspection. They don't say this, but in the paragraph it says, under state law, no criminal, I don't even think it's a criminal, but no charges could ever be brought for something that's pending an inspection. So that means they're covered. They did it. It's just the inspector hasn't come out yet. And they have the same problem with the health department and restaurants. And the restaurants can't wait, like this. They couldn't shut down the elevator. That's the handicap elevator too. So if they shut it down, they'd have to shut down the whole second floor because of
Yeah.
access laws. So do not, oh, and I'm going to tell you what not to do. Do not go onto the health department websites of your favorite restaurant. You can see all the health reports. Restaurants, yeah, they have food that attracts rodents. They catch the rodents. That's what they're supposed to do, right? So just because the report says 2 rodents in the trap doesn't mean it's a bad restaurant. Same with cockroaches. But you don't want to think about this thing when you go to the restaurant. But you'll see all their, there's a certain amount of things they can do and still pass. And you'll see their grades, and you'll see over time things they had to fix, and it might just gross you out.
And especially when they make the little holes and they go in there, all of them, they bring them back together.
It's part of life.
Have you ever seen Ratatouille?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
I love them.
it's cute.
It's cute, but if that was a real rat, they should do the live action movie. All of a sudden, nobody thinks it's cute anymore.
We had some in a house that we used to rent out in the country, and those were rats. And our landlord didn't want to do anything about it, so we finally left because we had pest control come out. And our landlord didn't want to, I guess the fence or the grills or something, they're too big, they needed them smaller. And so anyway, but I had parakeets that in the morning, I'm like, where's my parakeets, And then I'd see them on the bottom and they had a hole in their chest.
Ouch.
Yeah, so then the next people that rented, they had cats.
Oh, there you go.
So I thought, oh, they still have a problem, but it was ridiculous. And it wasn't little holes, they're big holes in our laundry room.
We lived down in Orchard, we had mice. So caught them. But one of them, you ever hear the saying, it's the second mouse that gets the cheese?
Yeah.
Right? This trap had 2 mice with their nose in, and they were both deceased. And I thought, that's interesting. So I took a picture.
So both of them were there.
They both went in at the same time, and the thing came down and got them both in one shot. And I feel bad because,
Yeah.
they're kind of cute, but at the same time, you can't. If you leave them, you'll have 10,000 of them overnight. Yeah, they're,
Oh, you want to see big rats and say go to New York.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Are
when
they
we-
like rabbits?
They're
Similar
cute.
to rabbits?
Did you see the rat pulling the pizza slice down the stairs?
I've never seen
Oh, it was a famous video
there
a
was
while
video,
ago. Yeah, and
Was it
you can
big?
go on. Well, it was as big as the pizza slice, but it was determined to take that pizza slice home. And of course, everybody loves pizza, so it was really funny. Unless you're thinking, what restaurant was that from?
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're full of rats. Wherever people are, rats are going to be. It's a fact of life.
And then right now when the cold started, oh my gosh, and then your house is warm, they all wanted to go in there.
Well, we were moving our couches out of that room when we were eating, and we dropped one of them, and we could not believe it. We didn't, oh my gosh, it was the most horrific thing.
Oh,
We
they were
had-
inside.
Yeah, they were in
inside
there,
the
they
couch?
fell out.
Oh.
Yes.
And I'm like, we can't take this to the new home, heck, no. So and you know what, we started noticing that the kibble from the dogs.
Oh yeah.
It was like emptying out, and we thought, what the heck? Well, when we dropped the couch, it was all in there, the kibble and it was disgusting. We couldn't, we were
Yeah, well,
nightmares.
that's what they said with their houses, a lot of cockroaches, you want to get rid of all the furniture.
Yeah.
So might as well buy one if you're moving.
Yeah.
We had to buy new everything. We threw everything. We called junk removal.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
Take them with the rats.
Yes.
Well, everybody in all the stores have them. If you go to Costco, and Costco think, oh, it's so clean, and they've got their
Oh, yeah.
rodent boxes in the corner, and they have to. It's a requirement. And You don't get to see them, don't hear them and don't see them, but they're there.
Yeah,
It's just where people are and have food, they're gonna be there.
yeah.
Right now, our landlord is just like, it's those little, what are those little black holes? Then they bite out of them, but then they die from it.
Yeah, the
Poisons?
little poison,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's poison.
Yeah, and then in that box, the black box, that has the holes inside.
We were gonna use those, but they said, guy on who said, don't do that, because then they'll eat it, but they'll run away and die in your wall, and then you'll smell it for 3 weeks. He said, use traps.
Yeah.
And he said, don't use cheese, that's what they do in cartoons. He said, really use peanut butter or like a nut.
We
like
would
that?
use sticky traps. And at nighttime was when the party was on, because we could hear them, so when I had a dog, that her name was Minnie, and anyway, I'd say, Minnie, where is it? Where is it? And I had the broom, and I'd get a grocery bag, the plastic ones, and throw it over the thing, and boom. And I'd take a picture of it and send it to the landlord. And he still didn't do anything. He said, oh, his mom lived on the other side of us. And they get on the beds and everything. And I'm like, no, they're not. But little did I know that after when we were moving, that they were underneath the couches. God
You were
knows
gonna
where our
take
grass
them.
thing
Yeah.
is.
You were gonna
Yeah,
do that.
it was gross. Oh my God. Oh.
Well, they like the stuffing of the couches.
Yeah, well, my husband said that one day he arrived at the house first, and he was sitting in the living room, and he could hear, because it was really quiet, nobody else was
Yeah.
saying it. And he said he had to go outside, sit in the until everybody got here. Yeah.
Just thinking about that, that's, because they have a lot of diseases.
Yes.
they do.
My
This
son's
is
foot,
out in the country, so, yeah.
we were in a meeting with my son's football coach in his classroom, and he was also the shop teacher. And we're sitting at the desk in a circle, and all of a sudden I could see out of the corner of my eye, something just kind of blur by. And he was like a cat. He launched himself out, he pushed the chairs out of the way, jumped down on the floor to grab it, and he caught it with his hand, and he, yeah, a mouse. It was a mouse. But I said, you really hate mice. He said, oh, this thing has been eating our wires. He said, I had to get it. So I've been trying everything. It's too smart. They do learn about the traps. So he said, it's too smart for me. I won't go for the traps. So when I saw it, I thought, here's my chance. I got him in the corner and took care of it. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
I'm scared with all
We
the-
would even hear the clinking of their teeth, because my son's a golfer, so I would break the brooms. So with the hitting them, so I got a golf club, and you can hear their teeth on and I'm like, oh my, no,
Wow.
we're out of here.
Too many.
It was horrible. I would have nightmares at night. They would go corn, the farmer would go corn around our house, and I could see in the middle of the night just the mice just coming out from underneath the dirt, but they were underneath the ground. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
sure.
Well, yeah, especially the soup trees and stuff. That's where they are too.
They're
Right.
everywhere.
That's why I'm scared with all that they're building on Sperry. All the mice there,
That's what
where are they
they're
gonna
complaining,
go?
that there's a lot of big rats. My friend, she did report it like the biggest rats like that, eating her dog's food on the patio. And she goes, we probably wouldn't see that.
No,
And now
because they
it's
were
like-
in the field and now that they're building, so they're
They're
going somewhere.
coming
I'm like,
And if you look at their, what is it, the
Cover it
paws or
up,
belly or whatever. Oh my gosh, it's weird.
Like little hands.
Yeah, their little hands, they're like big claws.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, figure you're lucky. My sister-in-law lived in Diablo Canyon and had rattlesnakes, and she found a rattlesnake in her garage.
Oh.
So that would be worse.
I found some snakes when we moved on Park Street, by where they're building the bright homes before. There were like 6 of them, like wrapped around the pipes. They were there, and I grabbed them. I mean, they were just those snakes from the
Oh, just like,
yeah,
rust,
like the mice snakes. I grabbed one like that, and it just wrapped around me. And then I let it loose. I loosened it up, and then I just let it go on the canal. It was-
You didn't throw over the fence to the neighbor's yard?
Yeah.
anyone of those were my neighbors.
I like their skin. They're
Well,
Like, what do you call those?
Yeah.
Pythons.
Boa,
No,
boa constrictors,
yeah, or pythons, no.
pythons, yeah.
Pythons, those. And they would play with them. Those were their pets. And then one time one of them comes and wraps it around my neck and I'm like, it felt so cool, but then at the same time, like, oh, it's so smooth. like even like more smoother than a baby, you know how you say, oh, like a baby's butt. No, but it's smoother than that.
No, but they're cold though.
But they're cold. Yeah.
Cold blooded, yeah. That's why they want to. They don't want to eat you. They want to warm up by you. Okay.
My sister, a teacher, had reptiles in the classroom, so we had to have pet shows.
Right.
For the parents, yeah. And we would handle the animals.
My mom did that with her kindergarten class. She had guppies, and the guppy was pregnant. Yeah. So it was all exciting. Guppy's little fish. Yep. She said, I didn't know though that guppy mothers and other guppies will eat the baby guppies if you don't give them shelter. And so the kids were screaming. I said, great, you give them nightmares, you scar them for life. Because here are the little babies, and then the thing comes up and so you're supposed to have lots of little grass and things and places for them to hide, because they will. They're just fish. They're not people. All right, on those fun notes, let's go to customers. Yeah. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create an invoice, just like we normally do. So the invoice can be exactly the same. So pick any customer. And any items, invoice. We're picking on invoices, but this will also be done with our sales receipts.
Any customers, and then you're going to create invoice?
Yeah, just like we just did, but don't receive the payment yet, because that's where we're going to change things. And then when you do that, do another one. So we'll do 2. So right now, as we've been creating these invoices, we've been receiving the payments directly to the checking account.
When am I out?
All right, you gotta go make some more purchase orders. Sold out. It's okay, sell to the negative. Go ahead, yeah, let them go negative. And then next time you do purchase orders, remember those are the things you're gonna reorder.
So you want to?
Yeah, please. So I just did the first 2 and you got 2 received payments. Here's where we're gonna change things up. So I'm gonna click on receive payment. So right now, you'll see it goes straight to the checking account, which is fine because it's gonna show up there. However, some companies don't want individual payments just to go straight there, because is the money really in your account? No, because it's sitting on the checks are on your desk. What you do is at the end of the day, you drive to the bank, you make the deposits, and now they're in your account. So there is a way in QuickBooks to reflect that. And that way the money doesn't show into the account until it's actually been deposited. It also provides one more check to make sure that everything you think you got, because the bank's going to give you a receipt, the number should match. And if they don't, then there's a problem. So here's how we're going to fix this or change this. See where it says deposit to basic checking? You'll see it's payments to deposit.
Yeah, I want that.
Really?
What is it? Payments to
Payments to
deposit, I have
deposit.
it.
Did you scroll down?
Yeah, no, it doesn't show.
It's the
That's
basic
odd.
checking, petty
Oh,
cash
that's right. My
savings.
chart of accounts is only 34. It doesn't show the full. That's why.
Yeah,
So what? What do I do?
it didn't.
Order too many items?
No.
No, it's
the
settings.
The settings. on the
Yeah,
chart
but-
of accounts.
So should I go to the chart of accounts? and-
Let's, but let me check something first. Because, so I'm gonna go into the, oops. Maybe it might be a switch that's turned off. So I'm gonna go into sales. Nope. Let's try advanced.
it wouldn't say add new because mine says add new.
You can, but then you're, saying, no,
Oh, you're
Not
adding
really.
new.
because it's not an account per se.
Yes.
It's an it's a hold, like a limbo. That's why, so there should be a setting. But I don't see it, of course. I thought maybe it's an option to turn off and on, and the ways yours was set up, it did that. See? See how smart the help is. Because not everybody's going to use this. You don't have to do this. Let's see if we can figure it out. No. Sometimes it's also called undeposited funds. Yes. Great. So I just did a search for using undeposited funds.
That one I do have.
Oh, you do?
Well, it shows in here.
Like this? When you went to deposit to,
Oh,
Does
let
it
me
show-
see in there? No.
It says uncategorized asset. Oh,
Undeposited funds.
oh, okay. So it used the old term on you guys for whatever reason. Sorry about that. Good, because that's what it's supposed to say. And in fact, when I say it, you'll hear me. I try to remember this payments to deposit, but it's also undeposited funds. So use that. Okay. So either undeposited funds or payment to deposit. What this is going to do, it's going to hold it. It's going to wait till you actually go to the bank. So we're going to do the same thing. Could be a check, make a fake number, just like that, like we were doing before, but save and close.
So we just do check it in the reference number, any reference number?
Yeah, it'll be the check number. And then make sure when you receive the payment, it goes to either undeposited funds or payment to deposit. No. See, now we want to select this. If yours says payments to deposit, yeah, check. They're paying by check, just like we did before. Make them a number, and you'll see here
So, okay,
payments to
we're gonna
deposit
do
or
both
undeposited
like that.
funds.
I remember it used to do that for me. I would receive the payment, it would go there until I go to the bank, then it would say deposit.
Exactly. So
Now
that's
It doesn't, it changed, and I don't know why, automatically changed. on the program.
okay. So I'm gonna do the second one, same way.
Okay.
Now you'll notice as it pops up in the second time, it defaults to that payments to deposit or undeposited funds. You always gotta watch. Right. If you want to go back to the checking account, you got to maneuver it back. And then it'll remember that way. So let me go back to my customers. So you'll see all our customers are paid. However, when I go to my check register, from the chart of accounts and the basic checking check register and view register, they're not there. So they're on hold and a suspense. What it's waiting for is the end of the day when you take all of them, maybe you'll add some more, you go to the bank and then you make that deposit. Okay. So let's just say those two are the only ones we had for the day, the two payments. Let's go ahead and make that deposit. In the upper left-hand corner, where it says QuickBooks Intuit, you want to go to New. And yes, bank deposit. It's under Other, right over here. So this is going to reflect on the real world. Okay, I drove to the bank, dropped them off, got my receipt from the bank. I'm ready to say now, deposit it into my QuickBooks checking. So I'm going to report it here to QuickBooks.
So something's not quite right.
Try again.
So save and
Well,
close?
No,
Okay.
not yet. Don't do anything yet, because gotta explain the screen. Here's the bank deposit screen. So this will show you anything that's pending that we put on hold, right? Now here is where you select basic checking or wherever you want it to go. What you'll notice though is you do have this total.
That's what?
That's total down here. It added up everything. It's only two,
Oh, yeah.
but it could be 200, right? So it gives you the total here. Before you do this, you compare this to the little receipt the bank gives you and make sure you both have the same total. If not, something's wrong. Something didn't get into the account. And what could happen is maybe the check was on your desk and it slid behind the desk. You know, one of them. So you thought it was in there, but it's not. So that's okay. Then you can fix it. You're going to say which ones you want to include. I'm going to include them all. So you can either put check marks here manually or put the check mark at the top.
That's why I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, if you have no check marks and try to deposit, it'll say, what? Okay. There is a section down here to add funds. So if you had some other money to deposit, you could include that. You can also, as you scroll down, there's a couple of the features. Well, this would be, yeah, you're carrying it to the bank. But in this case, if you had some other kind of payment that was not included in your regular sales receipts or invoices, you can include it here. So most times if you're using this, you don't have to do anything except those check marks. You do have a cash goes back to, so if you want to, say, take $10 of my $34 and send it to petty cash, I could. But I could also do the transfer. Remember how we did the transfer? You could do that too. Either way, it doesn't matter. If you got cash back from the bank, so I needed $20 in coins or something, I could put how much I got back. But we're not going to do any of that. I'm just going to save and close. Now, let's go to the check register. Go to basic checking and view register. Right. So we had to do at least two. If you do one, it'll actually tell you the name. But that's rare. I guess if you had a really bad day, you can have just one deposit. But if you click on it, you can edit. You can always go back and make changes to it. Yeah, so it's combined everything together as a sales tax payment. I meant to go to this other one.
Where's the deposit?
Yeah, you have to scroll down. Mine's like at the bottom here. So see how that works? So some places will do this exclusively. And it kind of makes sense because remember, our check register here is not tied to the real live checking account at the bank. So you're having to record all the transactions here to reflect what really happened. Let's say the boss says, you know what, these are great employees. I'm going to install a jacuzzi in the middle of the office. So he wants to see if he's got enough money. If you have been using the straight to checking account, it'll show all the deposits that haven't hit the account yet. So he calls up the jacuzzi company, they check his credit. Oh, you don't have enough money. That's why, because today's deposits haven't gone into that account. So they won't be reflected there until you do this bank deposit.
You don't have to do that though.
If they're what?
Directly to the bank.
Right. You wouldn't be doing a lot of the stuff that we're doing with the bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially if they're electronic transactions. Paper checks, you still have to physically handle them.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have one of those little bits of software that converts it from a check to a payment, electronic payment. So see how that works? Let's do it again. But this time, let's do sales receipts. Because you can do the same thing with sales receipts. So I'm going to go to Get Paid and Pay. Here's my customers. And I'll pick two other customers and do Create Sales Receipt. And it works the same way, just here where it says deposit to basic checking, use undeposited funds or payments to deposit, whichever it shows. And then again, pick anything you want to sell them. So I'm going to do another one. And this time it comes up automatically payments to deposit. That's a blessing and a curse.
Was it create sales receipt?
And make sure you switch over to payments to deposit. So otherwise, it works the exact same way we were doing sales receipts. It's just not going to go to the checking account till we make that deposit.
But do we only do two?
Please do two. So we'll go ahead and deposit those. So under the QuickBooks logo, I'm going to go to New. And on the right side, it says Other, Bank Deposit. Then again, we're going to select them. And this time again, you want to make sure it goes to the right account. So always look for basic checking. And then save and close. So we went to the bank. The bank says, got a deposit here of 120.94. That's my number. Great. And save and close. Okay. So that way, when we go to the check register, now you'll see two of those deposits. So it's really just how your business works and how they want to operate. So usually you pick one way or the other. So here's my two deposits. Right there. It's possible they could do both, a mixture, but usually it's like we'll do one or the other. So let's do something else now. So let's go back to our get paid and pay and go to our customers. Now we're going to do 2 and 2. 2 invoices, receive payments to deposit. 2 sales receipts, receive payments to deposit. So now we'll have 4 items, 2 different kinds, because you can do that. So I'm going to create 2 invoices first.
Versus, what is the other one?
2 sales receipts. But make sure you receive the payments for the invoices to undeposited funds. To undeposited funds, yes. So you can do them in any order. You just have to have them done before you go make a deposit. Yes, 2 invoices and 2 sales receipts.
all going into the undeposited.
Correct. It's going to be a combo. So I have 2 open invoices. I'm going to receive the payments to undeposited funds. So now when I go make my new deposit, I got 4 items, 2 different kinds. So you can combine them. And if you were using undeposited funds, you would, right? Because all the stuff's going to go in a bag or an envelope or something, and you're going to take it to the bank. And then when you're done, your bank total should match your total here. Well, if you're, this is a good policy because you're using basically the bank as a check to make sure that you got this right. Because otherwise, I could send them directly to the checking account all day. If something did happen where I dropped one behind the desk, or I lost it, then that'll never get to the bank, and we'll never know it till the statement comes or a check bounces, and then like, wow, what happened? So this is a very common technique to use this, and even cash. People bring in these bags of quarters. I knew a guy who had a laundromat service, and they brought in boxes and boxes of quarters, and the bank had to run them through their machine. But that's the way it worked. There was quarter machines. So once you're here, we're going to save and close. Go to your chart of accounts. Look at the general checking. And view register. Scroll down, there it is. Easy, huh? Okay, well, let's see how easy it is. So let's do something we haven't done for a while. I'm going to go to new. Let's do a transfer. This has nothing to do with what we're doing, but we just need to practice this. Let's do a bank transfer. So we're going to transfer $100 from our checking to petty cash. From basic checking.
It's another, right?
You should get transfer under the other column. That right under bank deposit. So let's do it. From the basic checking, we'll do $100 to petty cash. No, I typed it in. I'm just fast. So then save and close. No. You can if you want, but don't ever let me stop you from doing memos. So I happened to my last thing I had open was the check register, and there it is, the petty cash transfer.
Yeah, that's the balance.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, let's do another one. Another transfer, right? New transfer, this time from basic checking. Let's do $200 to savings. Mhm. Yeah. Just to practice transfers. Because we haven't touched on those in a while.
So when you're saving it, I mean, you're doing it here because your checking is linked, even though ours isn't, but it's linked. It will make the transfer. You don't have to do it, go to the bank.
Correct.
or
You
do it
can
on the
do
mobile
that.
app and-
That's an option. To do it this way, I would now have to log into bank and then move the 200 over to savings using my online app to my bank.
Okay,
That's the way
you
I would
still
do it.
have to do
Or
it.
you can walk down to the bank to the teller and have them do it manually for you.
Okay.
You'd still have to do the transfer, some kind or another. If they're tied, then everything you do here, when you command it, move this money now, then it moves it.
When they're linked, right?
Right, they're
Okay.
linked. The only thing, the petty cash wouldn't be linked because you're going to actually receive that. Okay, any other questions on that? All right, so now, we've got a couple more things to do. So let's do 3 sales receipts. Two undeposited funds or payments to deposit. Make deposit. When you're done with that, let's make 3 invoices, but receive those payments directly to checking. So we're going to do one way and the other way. Right, 3 and 3. Okay,
I don't have to do that.
sure. Some of these things have printers. I just push the button and it prints out a copy of what's over on the screen. But yeah, now you can just use your phone.
No, it's the brown ones, right?
The brown ones, 3 sales receipts to undeposited
Oh,
funds. So the short one, short way, and then make the deposit like we did a little bit ago. And then we're going to do the old way, make 3 invoices, but receive the payments directly to checking. So go to get paid and pay, pick a customer, create sales receipt. When you go to your customers, you have to use that drop-down list right where it says create invoice. This little triangle, and then it says create sales receipt. Or, glad you asked, if you felt like it, you can go up here to new. And under this screen, under customers, there is sales receipt. You can do it that way too. Yeah, it doesn't pop up in the list. It's invoices are always first, even if you never use invoices, which is funny to me. Yes, please. 3 to undeposited funds, then make the deposit. And again, any customers, any items.
And then after the 3 receipts for you.
After you do the sales receipts, make the deposit for those sales receipts. Then make 3 invoices and receive those payments directly to checking. Done?
Yeah.
Good. So I did my sales receipts. It's time for me to make the bank deposit. There they are. So I'll select them, all 3 sales receipts, and save and close. Now I'll do my 3 invoices. There's my 3 invoices. Now I need to receive the payments directly to checking. So receive payment. Got them all done. Okay, so this was an instance where do as I say and not as I do. If you follow what I did, I actually did it wrong. Ready for the test? Okay, let's go to the new, go to bank deposit, and if you did it right, it should be empty. Now I did it wrong. I have my invoices pop up. Oops. See, 3 to go. Do you have any in there? Good, you did it right. You got any in here?
What?
When you go to bank deposit, is there any amount to deposit?
No.
You did it right, that's good. So this is the thing that if you are doing back and forth, makes it hard. Because remember I kept saying, keep watching up here, the basic checking? See, I didn't do that. So it slipped by because it defaulted. That's one of the reasons, I mean, we need to practice transfers anyway, but we wanted to just kind of break things up. Then when you go back and you'll see, when I go new, bank deposit, mine, I didn't check it, so they're in undeposited funds. That's okay, because from here, I'm gonna show you how to fix it. You just click on the first customer. Here's the receive payment. See how it says payments to deposit? You can override the payments to deposit anytime. So to switch it over, save and close. It says it's linked to others, you remember? Yes. Okay, I go back to new, bank deposit. I got 2 more to do. So this part, this way is easy. Where it gets harder is if you were doing them different ways and you'd already made the deposit, then you have to delete that deposit, make the fixes, and then redeposit the ones that had to be deposited. Does that make sense? So I'll show you. Okay. Oh, went the wrong way. There's the payment. So on invoices, that's why I picked invoices last, is because it's a 2-step, and this is the easy one to skip over. But the opposite would also be true. If I said we wanted them all to be deposited to undeposited funds and nothing showed up, could be because you received the payments directly to checking without making that switch. So you just convert it. Now, when I go to new, bank deposit, should be empty. One of the little quirky things, you'll notice you can actually make a bank deposit to payments to deposit. Why would you do that? But possible. I guess if you're trying to do bundles of some kind, but I have never seen a need for that. Oops. Oh. So that was smart. I just closed my QuickBooks. Hit the wrong close button. That's okay. I'll open it up right now. So if you do make a deposit that was not supposed to be, that's okay. Because it is a pretty easy fix. Open this window. So what I did is I accidentally hit the close box. It's going to make me sign in again. And to be honest with you, I forgot my password. And I'm just too lazy to look it up because I can use this send text code. And I'm going to trust you because it's going to, it says never share your codes. Doesn't matter. It generates a new one every time. But now you can see that's my code this time. And then it says you can do a new password if you really forgot it. Where it says skip, I know my password. It lets you log in with a text message. The only thing is that's not the password, it's not the account. It was a temporary. And if you do it again, it'll be another number. The one I first logged in this morning or this afternoon was 924273. So I did what they told me not to do. I just shared it. I don't know why they make a big fuss about that, except if I waited, anybody with that code now can log in. But the minute I log in, it's no longer valid. Yeah, that's the thing, it expires, but just, you know, extra precautions. All right, so let me go to my check register, chart of accounts. I'm going to view my register. Scroll down until I get my deposits here, where it says split. I'll do the big one here. So I'm going to edit. Let's say for whatever reason, Jean was not supposed to be included. She was supposed to go directly to checking. Okay, if I try to do this, that would actually let me do it. It didn't used to. It used to be you had to completely delete the deposit, which you can do, then go redeposit it. Yeah, it did. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know they changed it. That's another thing they changed without telling me. If I go to edit it, you'll see Jean's not there. Oh, she is. She's listed, but she's not included in the total. So she is pending a deposit. Meaning, if I go to new, bank deposit, there she is. But then I can change it here to basic checking if I want it. So that's how you fix it. So forget everything I said about it being a hassle. They made it easier. I'm gonna go put her back in. This used to be hard too. Huh. And well, it kind of made sense. I always thought it made sense because why didn't you catch it here with these totals? Because you notice, oh, down here. Here's her 633.49. When I took her out, it was in the 500s. So my bank deposit, my slip from the bank is not going to match. So I should have caught it at that point. And then once you say deposit, I could see if you had to remove something, you really would want to delete it all, but that's okay. That makes it a little easier. There's no harm in that, I don't think. So just turning these check marks, we'll do it now. So any questions on how that works? Okay, let's wrap things up with 3 sales receipts directly to checking. So one of each. Or go ahead and sell negative. 3 sales receipts directly to checking. Oh yeah, I'm out. How did I sell out of fidget spinners? I had so many. Done? Okay. Let's see if you pass the test. Go to bank deposit. It should be empty. Mine is not because I did it wrong. Yeah, good. See, I did it wrong. I did it wrong on purpose. Because that's the easy thing. It's easy to not switch back. So yeah, and always checking it because so we're using undeposited funds. But like I said, a company will always do undeposited funds and never use directly to basic checking. Fine, but they might have multiple accounts. And for some transactions, you're going to use one account. So some sales receipts, say it's a business account, for example, business to business, and that's going to go to one checking account. They'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you ever get a job doing QuickBooks for somebody, first thing is ask them, "How do you like how QuickBooks has been working for you?" And if they say, "Oh, it's amazing, it's so wonderful," great, that's good news. If they say, "Oh, let me tell you, it's been a headache from the start," Well, that's not so good. If it's the first way and they're happy with it, that means the transactions that are in QuickBooks are probably correct, right? So when you're starting a business or starting in a new job with that, first thing to do, go look at their transactions, go to the checking account, start opening them, seeing what they're doing. And 9 times out of 10, as you've seen, a transaction for ABC Warehouse is going to be almost exactly the same, maybe just a little different product or different quantities and different dates too. But everything else is the same. So you just have to mirror that while you're learning. And even if it's an account you're not familiar with, just look at what they've done before. Almost always, whatever they've done before is what they need now. It's not 100%, right? But 90% of the transactions are going to be that. That's a good way to understand how the company's working. Same in the job interview. If you ask, sometimes I'll ask at the end, do you have any questions for us? And we were interviewing somebody and she said, no, you answered all my questions. And I was thinking, really? I asked questions, you answered them. But she was saying, I got enough information, I'm happy. We tell people, always ask questions because it does a couple of things. Kind of switches roles. Plus, the interviewer can relax and listen to your questions. And you might pick up some insight. So, one of the questions can be, is this a new job or am I replacing somebody? Let's say, oh, it's a new job or you're replacing somebody. And then you can say, what would you like to see done differently in this position? If they say, oh, let me tell you, when you get a deadline, make sure, okay, now you're getting a little hint that the person who worked in this position before had problems with deadlines. Deadlines weren't met. So whatever they say is your guide, like, okay, I get the job. When I start, deadlines critical. Or, oh, keep the bookkeeping up, stuff like that. Because they will express themselves. And that's kind of a good way to find out. On the other hand, one job I went for was a panel interview. It's for the Office of Education, 3 people. And I noticed when I went in that some were using Apple computers and some were using PCs. So they said, do you have any questions for us? And I said, yeah, I noticed that you have both Apple and PC. Have you ever thought about consolidating to one or the other? And the main boss said, oh yeah, we're going to Apple. And then the supervisor under him said, no, we've talked about this. We are not going to Apple. The county is going, and well, we're not the county. And so they got into an argument. I thought, what did I do? But you know what? So I got the job, and sure enough, that was a constant argument. And one liked one brand and one style, and the other liked the other. They never switched. And I learned that in the job interview. Don't bring that question up because they're very touchy about that. So, I mean, if you ask about bookkeeping, how do you use QuickBooks or something like that? And listen to their answer, and that'll tell you a lot. All right, so good job. Now I go to my new deposits. Nothing there. All good. Before we wrap this up, let's go to our business overview. Let's go into our reports. And I want to use the favorite up here, sales by customer detail. So this will tell us how our customers are doing.
It was in their favorites.
It should show up at the top. So I go to reports. Automatically, I think it's selected here. This here? Do you have that? Okay, if you don't, you can scroll down and it's down here under sales and customers.
Customer detail.
Detail first. Yeah. First, we'll look at sales by customer detail. And there it all is. And this is only for the month of February, remember? So I'm going to change this to all. And then run report. At the top. You have to scroll all the way to the top. And now it's much longer. Yes, you have to make it refresh. So Let's look at another one. This time, sales by customer summary. And this one you do have to scroll down for sure.
All dates.
Yes. And again, switch all at the top and run report. So this will be since we started the class. And you can see who your big spenders are. That's funny because we've been just using them randomly. But
What did you get, like, for ascending order or descending?
All dates.
yeah, just do all dates and you can leave it, everything else the same. And then click run report.
Yeah, we're making sales.
After you look at that and say, wow, go back to reports. So let's look at another one. And sales by product and service summary. You can look at the detail if you like, but I like the summary.
That tells you who.
Sales by product service summary. And again, all dates. So we can look at January too. So as you read this, you'll see the current quantity on hand. In our case, it puts decimals, but how do you have half a fountain pen? So it wouldn't count, but there are some things that might be. You'll see the amount, the percentage of your total sales. You'll see the average price. So if you've changed prices, it'll give you the average of all the sales. So if I've sold 1,000 at $25 and one at $15, that one is just going to change it a little bit. So it'll probably be like 24.98 be the average price. The cost of goods sold is the account, that's COGS. That's the account it was sales of, or the purchase have been charged to. That means that you sold more than you have, but that can happen. You'll see the late fee did end up with a decimal. And then the gross margin is the difference between your costs and your sales prices. And you can see
Rose margin is what?
the difference between your costs and your sales price. How much you've made on your sales between what you paid for them to get them. But that doesn't include the janitors, the employees, or anything else. And then it gives you your total down here. This is not the total of your bank account, of course. And this does not include sales tax because you don't get to keep that. All right. Any questions on the reports? Then we are done with beginning QuickBooks. Again, we have next week off. So if you've already registered online, great. If not, you can still do it. And then you'll get a little email next week. Class should be on. And then Monday we'll start advanced. Right. Pardon me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's President's Day.
How many years have you been in school? What do you?
Just pick a number. It's not that important. There's statistics they're supposed to be using for the state. But
yeah, because I mean, I have my BA, but it didn't take me 4 years to get it. It took me 8 years because I worked.
put an 8, sure. Well, and like, are you in school now?
Yeah.
Yeah. If, like I said, if you're taking tax deductions, this would count. Also, if you have unemployment insurance, these classes count. You can extend.
Okay, wait a minute.
If you're receiving unemployment because you're unemployed and you take classes, you can ask for an extension while you're in class.
Are you serious? Because my unemployment terminated already. It ran
Yeah.
out.
You have to start
So I
the,
could have asked for an extension.
when did it run out?
Huh?
When did it run out?
It ran out middle of January.
When did you register for this class? Before? All right, see you next,
It might have
2
been
weeks.
around that time.
Did you, well, this is a question. Did you register for this class before, well, before it ran out? Actually, because you couldn't register, it probably wasn't open. Did you find out and try to register for this class before you ran out of unemployment insurance?
Because one of the questions is, are you going to school?
Right. And if you started the process, you called up the Patterson Adult School, bye-bye, then that will count. That's your placeholder,
Really?
and they can extend it.
So
Can you go back?
yeah,
Try. You can ask them.
So you can save on the taxes when you do them for next year, it should be this, right?
Yeah.
For classes.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
What's
because
the period in which it occurred? So it occurred 2023. So when you do 2023, include your mileage. That's if you're itemizing anyway. Because now, most people take the standard deduction. It's much easier.
Yeah.
But if you're using a program like QuickBooks, you can see both ways. So keep track of your mileage in a little spreadsheet.
I didn't know that it would extend my unemployment.
Yeah, they never tell you these things, do they?
See, because I could have extended it this whole semester because it's
Yeah, 2 classes.
Yeah, 2 classes.
oh
So
my.
you 2 weeks.
All right. Calling
They
out.
told me that they would let me know if I would get an extension. See, so because I didn't answer that I was going to school at the time, but then again, I didn't know that because you registered already, that you could have.